I've got a golden ticket.
That's a winner!
Good Thursday evening, live from DraftKings at Casino Queen. My name is David Sharp here with Clemson John and Damian Biro. Hey guys, if you can hear us, because David and John are playing producer this evening.
Yeah,
We're
no Russell this week.
No
David.
Russell this week, so you might not be able to hear us at the moment. And if not, we have to take care of that. So if somebody can text in and let me know that you can hear us, that would be absolutely wonderful. We have a lot to cover tonight. First night, NFL, guys. Right? We were good. We're actually working.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh my God, no Russell and we're working.
Yep.
No problems. That's unbelievable. So we got a lot to cover tonight. Let's get right into the NFL tonight. First night, Kansas City, Detroit. Line moved 2.5 points in the last few days. Kelsey out. Damian, what do you like?
I took the points in the under in this game. But I don't really like any of that too terribly much. It's not something I'm proud of, or I'm going to say, oh, yeah, come over here and bet this. There's some other things this weekend I like considerably more. Just to let everybody know, I did play 3 prop bets on this game. I played David Montgomery over 12.5 receiving yards. I played Jahmyr Gibbs over 31.5 receiving yards.
Jahmyr Gibbs, everybody on the rookie train.
Kansas City has been one of the 5 worst defenses in the last 5 years against running backs out of the backfield. They have a horrible time with running backs out of the backfield catching passes. You know, Austin Eckler just gives them fits, for example, when they play the Chargers. And then the other bet I made was I bet Sam Laporta, the Detroit tight end, to have a touchdown in the game today. He was plus 320 when I bet it. It's down to plus 260.
Wow, that's a good move.
The Chiefs last year gave up touchdowns to tight ends in 9 of their 17 games during the season. And Jared Goff threw touchdown to a tight end in 10 of his 17 games during the season last year. I like the odds of Laporta at 3-1 getting a touchdown reception in this game. The Chiefs also missing not only Travis Kelce, but they're missing their one impact defensive lineman in Chris Jones, who's under a contract issue and has not been signed and is not going to play in the game today. So the Chiefs missing, like I said, their most potent offensive weapon and their best defensive player. I would just lean to taking Detroit in this game. I'm playing the under because I really think the Lions are going to ball control this game with Montgomery and Gibbs and the short passing game and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's very, very good out of the slot. I think it's going to be a ball control game, a low-scoring game, 24-21 kind of game. Not saying, I probably would lean on taking the Chiefs to win. But one other thing for you all to remember is the Chiefs are actually the worst team in the NFL against the spread the last 2 seasons. They win, but they don't cover.
Yeah. One of the things the line moved 2.5 points since Tuesday, but the over/under has pretty much stayed the same. It moved 0.5 point. It was 53, now it's 52.5. So that didn't really move much.
Yeah. Detroit gave up a lot of points last year, and they scored a lot of points. The one thing that scares me is Detroit really hasn't been that good on grass outdoors. But then again, like I said, the Chiefs really aren't known for their defense either, and missing Chris Jones, their best pass rusher, and Detroit has a very good offensive line. I believe Detroit will be able to. I believe Detroit will be able to run the ball and control the clock in this game and keep Patrick Mahomes off the field.
So, yeah, it's Mahomes not getting much. I don't know. You think a guy that just won the Super Bowl coming back his first game at home? I think a lot of the public money's going to end up being on the dog here,
which usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really was struggling to figure out which way to bet this game before the Kelce injury, and I would have probably leaned more toward the Chiefs if Kelce was going in this game. But I mean, Kelce's he's the safety valve for Mahomes. That's where he went. They lost Smith-Schuster and Mecole Hardman, who were the 2 leading receivers for Kansas City last year. I don't know who he trusts to throw the football to in this game.
Well, Damien, one of the things a line I took earlier in the week is I didn't think Detroit would win by more than 7. So I took Detroit to win between 1 and 7 points, and it was plus 363. So right now the line is plus 164. I don't see Detroit blowing Kansas City out at home.
Oh no, not at all.
So I have to win by 7 or less at plus 363. I like it, especially the way that it's moving now.
That's incredibly great value right now. Like I said, I mean, I see this as being a field goal game either way. You got a 1-7 on Detroit winning. Kansas City doesn't lose. When they lose, they don't lose by a lot. You know,
Yeah, Detroit's not going to go in there and blow them away.
Detroit is not going to blow them away in this game.
Yeah, so I got plus 363, and I actually took that in some parlays, some 2 and 3 game parlays. That was my key bet: is Detroit winning between 1 and 7 points. I like the number.
That's great value.
But I made that bet on Monday.
Yeah.
So you're not getting those odds now.
No.
It's probably a little over plus 200 for the same thing now. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with it, whether it wins or not. Like you said, the value's there. I guess I got a little lucky. Kelsey's not playing too, right?
Yeah.
But that's part of it, right? When you make an early bet, like you've made several, all summer you were making prop bets every single week for the year. Did you ever add up how much you have? I mean, it's got to be a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, every week Damien was firing on season-long prop bets.
I've got about $5,000
Yeah.
wrapped up, and although 2 of them I might as well throw away after watching Clemson get absolutely humiliated on Monday night. And
well, we'll get into that in a second. Well, let's get in a second. I'm talking about the NFL.
Yeah.
You got at least 4,000 in season-long prop bets, and
Yes.
the Bank of DraftKings thanks you very much for holding on to your money for about 5.5 months, right?
Well, I do have like 4 separate week 1 bets that I bet, a month or more ago that, I've got the best of 2 of the lines and the worst of 2 of the lines.
Okay.
I got Indy at plus 3.5. They're now down. They're now getting 5. So I got the worst of that line. I never imagined the whole Jonathan Taylor situation would just completely implode.
Right.
And then the other one that is the money's going on Buffalo. Buffalo's up to 2.5. I bet the Jets at plus 1.5 in that game a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
The lines where I've got the better of it was I took Pittsburgh at plus 3.5 against San Francisco. They're now down to 2. And the other one was I bet Atlanta minus 2.5, and they're now laying 3.5.
Yeah.
So I have got money on 4 week 1 games already. So hopefully I'll be able to cash at least 2 of those tickets in by next time I come here next Thursday. I'll have a little money to back in my pocket.
Other than your Steelers game, what game are you looking forward to most this weekend?
As far as a gambling perspective, or just simply for entertainment?
Entertainment.
The Dolphins and Chargers is the game that I'm really looking for.
I was going to say that too. Definitely.
That game. Now, if you remember last year, the Los Angeles Chargers, they blew out Miami, humiliated them.
Yeah.
Tua played horrible. The Dolphins I believe they got 1 touchdown in the game, and that was a Tyreek Hill fumble recovery. It was just a nutty game. I believe Miami's going to come out for revenge. I believe there'll be a lot of points scored in that game too. I'm going to play the over in that game, and I have a lot of fantasy impact in that game. I have Justin Herbert on basically every fantasy team I possess. So I'm really looking forward to that game a lot. And they said there's quite a few of the NFL games. I'm going to be on quite a few of the dogs here in week 1. Not only I take the Steelers, I'm on Cleveland, I'm on New England, I'm on Green Bay. Even with Green Bay having issues to their top 2 receivers, I still like the Packers in that game.
Well, real quick before we go any further, John and I talked about this game briefly the other day. I'm on New England too, and John despises Mac Jones.
On New England.
Oh,
And Philly?
I don't like Mac Jones either.
Want to hire you? Right now, you want to do an interview while we're live? Right now, we're talking about the NFL. We're going to get into college here shortly. What do you got? You got the Steelers winning the Super Bowl. There's your guy right there.
I bet I have big money on the Steelers getting over 8.5 wins this year. I've been touting that.
This is fan participation time. Well, there you go.
Their schedule's very manageable. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a month now.
I'm glad it's back. Football is back.
Yeah.
And he still is every day. Clemson fan right here. Wait. All right. Why? Wait. We started. Hey. Before. Here it is. There it is.
If you remember last Thursday, I told you to take Duke in the points. I told everybody to take Duke in the. I gave 4 games out last Thursday. I went 3-1. But
yeah.
Well, we're gonna.
Well, they actually
everything's there except receiver.
If you watched that Clemson 2 game, Clemson was actually the better team in that game. But their special teams were an embarrassment. Their quarterback was a bitch and punked out on that 4th down play where he slid feet first a half a yard from the first down. Completely heartless. The defense quit after that, after Klubnik quit, and Duke went down and scored in the last couple minutes of the game to make it look worse than it was.
But Pitt won it in 21.
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, Duke's probably the 3rd or 4th best team in the ACC. Clemson outplayed them for the most part. Clemson will bounce back from this game. I will tell you, actually, I think the best thing about this game is Clemson's probably going to be getting a touchdown at home when they play Florida State. Clemson will be a very live dog in that game. So they may be getting a touchdown by the time that game goes.
All right.
Everybody sharpen their knives and just that's what people do. They said the last 7-8 years, everybody sharpens their knives and just gets ready for the one game a year Clemson loses to just dig in.
Well, you got it.
They sit around and sharpen their knives for 9 months.
Well, they got it right away, John.
Yeah, they got it right away. Yeah.
They didn't have to sharpen too much.
They sat around for 7 months and sharpened them.
Yeah, no waiting. Yeah. But I will absolutely be on that train if you're going to give me Clemson and points when we go, because John and I are going to that Florida State game.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see how we look the next 2 weeks. I mean, we'll play 2 cupcakes, but we'll see if we can throw the ball down the field. I mean, I know Duke had 2 safeties up top the whole game, but we still need to be able to get separation and get the ball down the field.
It's a good transition because I wanted to talk about this and talk a little college.
I don't expect Clemson to really have to break out too much of their playbook in the next 2 weeks. So I think they will save whatever they're doing for Florida State in that game in 3 weeks.
You better do something because I want to come home with a winner, John.
Yeah. Me too, man.
We're still looking for tickets. Thought we had a bite on one. Did you ever get a response?
They'll be a lot easier to get now. I played Jahmyr Gibbs over his receiving yards of 31.5. That's not fantasy. That's
under. Total under 52.5.
Play
over in the Cardinals Braves game.
Play Atlanta minus a 1.5 against the Cardinals. Play Atlanta.
Wainwright's pitching.
So
his ERA is only 8.
It's batting practice.
Well, that's the thing is, give me a pick, but only if I like it. He didn't like what any of us had to say. So it's like, do it. Well, do what you're gonna do, right? Yeah. Give me a pick for tonight. We all gave him one, and he didn't like any of them.
None of them.
So, John, give us some positive news out of Monday night.
I mean, everything's there for the most part that we thought, except receiver. I said for months I'm a little anxious to see receiver. We need one guy to step up so we can find a Mike Williams, so we can find an Amari Rogers, and a Hunter Renfrow, T. Higgins, Sammy Watkins, We need to find these guys, right? Now the country don't know their name because, we need one of those guys to step up, whether it's going to be Antonio Williams, but Antonio's kind of a slot guy, that number 0 that was catching the balls that we were completing Monday. Bo Collins is on the outside. He's a big possession receiver, kind of like Mike. But, we got a freshman in Tyler Brown that's supposed to be really good. Adam Randall, sophomore. So we just need one of these receivers to step up and start getting separation and start making plays. But we are what we thought we were at running back. Will Shipley's what we thought we were. Phil Moffitt's what he thought he was.
Who
Cade was all over
said
the place.
that? Who's the coach that said we are who they?
Denny Green.
Denny Green. That's right.
They are what we thought they were.
Yeah,
We let 'em off the hook.
we are what we thought we were. They
I
were.
said, if you dig into that game, Clemson dominated that game really statistically. They had over 200 more yards of offense, and that was before they quit in the fourth quarter after Klubnik bitched out on that fourth down play, and they basically Duke just went down the field for the final 60 yards on that touchdown. Clemson was the better team in that game, other than the fact that they couldn't protect the field goal kicker. They couldn't convert short yardage inside the 10-yard line, and they couldn't not turn the ball over when they got down there.
Yeah, I mean, we had the ball inside the 1 twice and came away with 0 points. I've said for days, how hard is that to do? That's very hard to do. That's probably never going to happen for the rest of the year where there's one game where they're inside the 1 and come away with no points twice.
Yeah,
it's really hard to do.
Like I said, if you look at the game, if you're like impartial and looking at the game, Clemson did a lot of good things in that game against a very veteran Duke team. Last week I said take Duke in the points. It was just too many points. I never expected for the life of me that Clemson would lose the way that they did. But Clemson they were the better team in that game for the most part. So
the numbers would say Clemson's a better team.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean they just
except the score.
Defense. Duke played a bend don't break defense, and
Clemson's defense.
We didn't punch it in. So
Clemson's defense was very good in that game. Like I said, very good in that game. Clemson's defense is who you thought they were.
Well, there was a few missed arm tackles, a few missed angles. They lost the running back on quill routes out of the backfield every time. But for the most part, I liked what I seen. I mean, Peter Brown, he's going to be really good at defensive tackle. Xavier Thomas,
those 2 stud linebackers. I mean, Clemson.
T.J. Parker looked really good, a freshman out of Alabama too. He's going to be playing the rest of the year.
As much as I right now kind of enjoy giving John a lot of shit about Klubnik being a bitch, don't give up on Clemson. I'm just saying. Florida State will be favored now. People are going to remember this game and the fact Clemson plays 2 cupcakes the next 2 weeks. They're going to see, Duke beat them 28-7. And Florida State's probably going to walk into the game 3-0. And, after their dismantling of LSU. And the hype around Florida State's already kind of off the charts. They jumped to number 4 in the country off of a performance where LSU was missing their best defensive player and their best running back. And, the hype train on Florida State is going to be a little excessive. They're going to walk into Death Valley, and they're going to get a rude awakening. That game's going to be a nail-biter. Florida State's not going to beat – they are not going to beat Clemson like they just beat LSU. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just love the comments. It's so funny. Clemson loses their opener the way they lose it, and, the sky's falling. Dabo's dynasty's done. The run in Clemson, South Carolina is over. They're done. LSU loses 4 straight openers 4 years in a row. LSU loses the way they lose to Florida State, and it's they can still make playoffs.
LSU,
they're still back. Don't worry about it. They got everything's gonna be all right.
LSU has got a much tougher schedule and much more ability to make the playoff if they run through the rest of the season.
The media hates Dabo. They hate Clemson.
LSU also didn't get beat by a nobody. They got beat by a top 10 team, basically in a road game without, like I said, their best defensive lineman and their number 1 running back.
If the media saw Dabo Swinney walking on water, they'd say, it's because he can't swim. That's what they'd say.
So I'm just saying.
They can't stand it.
There's a big difference
he's against pay. He doesn't want to pay enough players, and he hates the portal, which is not true, by the way. Dabo's been a big proponent of NIL.
There's a big difference between the quality of losses there. You know, I mean, like I said, I told you Duke was better than they were getting credit for, but I never imagined that they would beat Clemson by 21. Not my wildest dreams that I think that would happen.
And I mean, as far as the portal, Dabo may open up to using the portal. I don't know. That's up to him and how he wants to run his program. But who are we going to replace? That's my question. We're not going to replace any of those defensive linemen or linebackers. We maybe go find a safety or a DB. We maybe go find one wide receiver. There's nobody else to replace. Maybe go find one offensive lineman. That's it. Everybody acts like this is just a piss poor roster that needs a bunch of portal help. Like it's Colorado from 1-11 yesterday or last year, and Deion has to go rebuild the team. That's not the case. I mean, we don't have that many holes. I mean, we just don't. I mean, Cade was all over the place Monday, and it's got to fix that. It's got to execute better. The reads were there for the most part.
Well, speaking of Colorado,
Yep, that's what I want to get into. Yeah.
What a game they played against TCU. I mean,
Offensively, that was incredible.
Justin Hunter, the wide receiver / cornerback, was absolutely incredible. In the heat down there in Fort Worth, temperature of 100 degrees, heat index near 110. He played 119 snaps in that game.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's not only an elite cornerback, he's a really good wide receiver. TCU had no answer for him, and TCU pretty much tried to stay away from him when they were playing on offense. The kid was incredible. And speaking of incredible, Deion Sanders' son, Shakir, he definitely made his mark in that game. He looked like an NFL caliber player. I believe he was 30.
How do you say his name? Shador?
Shakir.
Shador.
I'm sorry, Shador Sanders. He looked like an NFL caliber quarterback in that game. Now, granted, TCU has given up, I believe it's 160 points in the last 3 games they've played, and they replaced a lot of their defensive players from last year, and they couldn't stop Colorado. I think you're going to get a much bigger test from Colorado this week in Nebraska, and I will tell you, I'm giving everybody, is this my upset pick in college football this week? If you remember last week, I said Nebraska would cover and win the game. They should have won the game on Thursday. But they turned the ball over 5 times and lost by a
heartbreaking loss for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, I had Nebraska on the money. I had Nebraska plus the points, Nebraska on the money line. I'm telling you right now, take Nebraska on the money line again in this game against Colorado. I'm telling you, Nebraska's going to win this football game.
What's the line?
Going big against the public. It's going to be like 85% of the bets on Colorado.
The bets are all on Colorado. It's 3 or 3.5. Nebraska's going to win this football game.
Colorado's defensive line's pretty soft.
Yeah.
That D-line's been pushed around all day.
That D-line got pushed around. Nebraska's going to be able to run the football in that game. They will control the clock.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to stop that offense, and can they keep up with Colorado in a shootout?
Nebraska's there won't be a shootout. Nebraska's defense was incredible last week. They turned the ball over 5 times in that game. Minnesota wasn't scoring unless Nebraska was turning the ball over.
Yeah.
Nebraska's very good defensively. Minnesota could not move the football in that game. Minnesota's one touchdown was an incredible catch on a 4th and 11.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And absolutely one of the best catches you'll see all year. And that tied the game with a minute left. But that was right after a fumble that, Nebraska fumbled. They were running out the clock, and they fumbled, and Nebraska went down and scored. And then Nebraska turned the ball over again with under a minute left and gave up 2 completions, and Minnesota kicked a 47-yard field goal. I was never in danger of not covering the spread in that game. But this game is in Lincoln. Colorado's going on the road after playing an insane game with TCU a week later in that heat. And now they're going to be going to Lincoln, and they're going to play a team that actually plays defense. I will find out how good Shador Sanders is this week. I believe he's very, very good. He's potentially a first-round pick in the NFL. But I mean, this will be a real test for Colorado, who has their first conference game in week 3. So this is kind of like a real sandwich game for the Buffaloes. We'll see how good Deion Sanders is getting his team up for this one, because it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't think I I wonder what having a coach like Dion's like. I'm curious. I mean, we'll never know, but
Yeah,
I'm curious. I don't think he has a problem getting his players motivated. That's just me.
No, I mean
Yeah.
motivation is not his weakness.
No, that's for sure, right? He's gonna find a way to get players to play better than they are, right? I don't know how, but I want to play for him.
It's interesting because a lot of schools didn't look at him during the coaching search. Is what's interesting. Auburn, uh, a lot of other schools that didn't look at him. So
Well,
he winds up at a place he can go nowhere but up.
right.
At Colorado,
they're
he was 1 and
already-
11 last year.
Yeah, they're already going up.
Well, he keeps this up. He's not gonna have a problem recruiting. That's for sure.
Oh, he's already not going to have a problem
I know.
recruiting. But,
Yeah.
but I mean, he'll really get the elite athletes. He can keep this up. I would tell you, if they win this week, I'll believe they're more legit.
What's his contract like?
That's a
I don't
good
know.
one.
Obviously, he just signed. I believe it was a 4 or 5 year deal.
Yeah,
He
I'm
got-
curious what he got.
Colorado paid him to get him to come there.
John's looking it up now.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm curious what he got.
A 5-year deal, not $29 million. So $6 million a year.
Yeah,
and that's before any
Yeah.
bonuses or incentives.
yeah, 5.98 a year. That's not bad.
No, and I guarantee he's going to hit some of those bonuses. and
Yeah, that's
incentives.
about a average, or maybe probably average contract.
Is it?
Yeah.
But has he been?
Dabo makes $11 million. a
Okay,
year.
so I guess my question is that for somebody who hasn't been coaching that long, right?
It's his
That's
first
a-
big job.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot. I mean, I guess that's cheap, right? But their program probably doesn't make a ton either.
It's
Does
about
it?
average. You got
Does their
coaches
program
that
make a lot?
anywhere from $3 million to $10 million,
Yeah.
$11 million.
What are the days of the Buffaloes? Well, give me some good days of the Buffaloes in the past.
1991.
They won
Okay,
a
yeah.
national
Cordell
championship.
Stewart.
I
That's
can
it though.
Can I tell you what I did in 1991?
Yeah.
92, 93, 94. I did the same thing.
Partied at Arizona
I was
State.
drunk. I was drunk
Oh,
all those years. That's
Dave,
what I
Dave was,
did.
Dave was hanging out with hot co-eds at Arizona State during that time frame. Doesn't remember much.
I do. I remember the important
Do you
stuff.
remember? Yeah, probably the most infamous Colorado play is the 5th down play against Missouri.
Yeah,
I do
the old
remember
fifth
that.
down.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They shared that national championship
Yes, they
with
did. I believe it was Georgia Tech. I
Ramblin'
remember
Wreck
that.
of Georgia Tech.
So
yeah.
I remember making some comment. It's like sure, I'd like 5 downs when I bet that team. Just one time a game, give me 5 downs. Let me pick when I get it.
Yeah, that was wild. That's
Yeah.
something we've never seen.
Yeah, that's
Fifth
crazy.
down
Yeah.
score.
All right, guys, we got other games. I'm sure there's plenty of college games that you want to.
Yeah, North
Yeah,
Carolina,
cover.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Everybody's off the Spencer Rattler bandwagon finally. South Carolina came in very hyped. Everybody thought they were going to do good, but their offensive line was awful. I got up in the middle of the night the other night.
I do that every night.
But I'm in the dead sleep. I was in dead sleep. And I rushed, keywords, rushed to the bathroom. And then I came back and realized.
You're getting older, John. It
No,
happens.
I came back and I realized, dang, I just rushed for more yards than South Carolina did. They had -2 rushing yards the whole game. -2. Against a North Carolina defense that isn't very good to speak of.
I'll be honest with you, you weren't carrying a football.
-2. I rushed for more yards
He
than
rushed.
the whole South Carolina team did.
He rushed for
when I
more
went to the
yards.
bathroom in the
He
middle of
rushed
the
for
night.
more yards and never had to carry a football.
Oh, I'm glad I cracked myself up. This shit just goes right over your head.
Actually, just laying in bed, he rushed for more yards than the South Carolina team.
Yeah.
They had
They didn't even have to
-2
get up.
rushing yards.
Yeah.
So everybody's off the Shane Beamer train. The Shane train. He blamed the chain crew.
Blame the Shane train.
Yeah, well,
There you go.
the Shane train blamed the chain crew for the halftime mistake. They go to kick an onside kick to start the second half to surprise them, catch them off guard. They couldn't start they kicked it, but the chain crew wasn't there yet. They had to wait probably a minute or two on the chain crew to come out. They were finishing their halftime meal. They were finishing the hot dogs. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Just one of those games. We're waiting on the chain crew to finish our hot dogs or something. We're trying to kick an onside kick. So Yeah, the Shane train blaming the hot dog crew.
Yeah, it was
So-
it was a bad day for the state of South Carolina.
That's all right. They'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Gamecocks will be back or not, rushing for -2 yards against North Carolina.
John has
But-
told me about a little barbecue. I'm ready for that barbecue that you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Little Bojangles fried chicken.
Yeah. Well, Bojangles will be in
We're not going to be there for
Tennessee,
that many meals, though,
Georgia,
John.
South Carolina.
We're not going to be there for that many meals.
Yeah, we're going to have to
I don't know.
squeeze in
To
as
go-
many as possible.
To go box something
I would
for that long ass ride home.
I would like
10-hour drive home.
I would
Yeah.
like to give John some credit. Last week here, all he did was tout UCF in that game, and they absolutely shellacked the team. I don't remember who
Kent
they were
State.
playing, Kent State.
Yeah.
So Clemson John nailed that game.
Yeah.
About as
We
hard
didn't
as a
even have
game
to
could be
sweat it.
nailed.
Those are the best
was-
ones I like. We don't
yeah,
even have to
you-
sweat.
It was like, I believe it was 55-6 or something.
Yeah,
was the
56-3, I
final, or
think.
56-3. I was.
Yeah.
It was
Didn't
easy.
even have
It was-
to
yeah,
sweat.
John was all over that game right from the get-go. Told everybody to play it. He played it himself.
Talk about the UCF game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
got to give John, as much as I've given a little crap for Clemson, you got to give the guy credit. He absolutely nailed
You know,
that
this
game.
is the first night I haven't had one of you guys put a ticket. I've been the last 3 weeks I've won. One of you guys have put a ticket in for me, and I didn't do it this week.
You know?
I totally forgot.
What do you mean?
We-
It's early.
We can still take a break at some
Oh
point.
yeah, we
We'll
need to take a
What are
break.
you
Somebody
talking
needs.
about?
and walk
It's like
in.
somebody needs to
Yeah.
put a ticket in.
It's
for me.
only Thursday,
did you-
David.
did
Calm
you-
down.
I
Did
understand.
you win
Yeah.
your ticket last
all
week?
through the last 3 weeks.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
Yeah.
it did win last
Yeah.
week too.
David's
Yeah.
on 3-week winners in a row.
Parlays,
3
four,
weeks in a
three,
row.
4, 5 teamers, 5
Yep.
teamers, 4 teamer, and a 3
We
teamer.
had one the other day. I did a bunch of baseball alternates
Oh, this
for
is
him,
ugly.
and we hit the whole thing. Except, I thought I'd go ahead and put a WNBA under in there. You
That's
lose
what-
that one.
That's what you get.
We got
Quit betting
every
that
game in
crap.
except a 6. He has 7 teamer. He's got all 6 baseball in, and then the WNBA.
And we never had a shot at the WNBA. They scored the finals 96-92. The under was like 170. Never had a shot.
I said you had to put that 7 teamer wasn't enough for you.
That's what you get for betting the WNBA. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to say.
Well,
about that.
Oh, sorry, it would have been a 6 teamer.
I will never bet a I will never watch a WNBA game, much less bet it.
I've
So,
been doing some unders on them. There's
But I will
some-
say,
there's a little value because they get so
wait.
bad in the last 6 minutes sometimes,
well,
Damien.
you didn't
You
have
can
to say
take
the
those
last 6
live
minutes.
unders.
No,
Those
that's
live
true.
unders, Damien.
You see, he
The
went
live
too far when he
unders.
said the last 6 minutes. Just bad would have been just fine when described the WNBA.
It can
You
get
never-
bad.
It can get bad, and you don't have to add anything after that.
I want to tell you this though. The 6 games, he used alternate lines in those first 6 games. He didn't need the alternate lines.
Oh wow, yeah.
He didn't need
Yeah.
any of the alternate lines. That was a pure 6
It
teamer.
was Tuesday, and they all went over.
How
all
many
the
times
games
do you
went
say you
over.
pick a pure 6 teamer?
Yep.
Like against the
Well,
spread.
I've got
That's pretty strong, John.
Yep.
Although we didn't cash on it, but it was good until it wasn't. How's that?
yeah.
Famous words of who? It was good until it wasn't.
Can't remember.
I can't either. But
Oh,
it just
okay.
I figured you would know, John. You're the king of isms,
Always true until the first time it happened.
right?
That's what you're up
Yeah.
to. Yeah,
pa-
that's an old
When you
saying.
loan money, he always pays me
Until the first time he does it. Yeah. Or it's like the guy who never shows up to work late. Yeah, it's true to the first time it happens.
Like when I'm on the baccarat pit. Oh, it hasn't gone past 3, and of course it goes to 4.
Oh, that was an
Yeah.
old movie quote. An old Kevin Costner movie quote.
From
The pitcher where he's pitching for the Detroit Tigers.
what movie was that?
Vin Scully.
Oh yeah, I remember. I
Come
remember
on.
that.
Vin Scully announces the whole game. If you haven't, there's a few like 5 movies David hadn't seen. If he hadn't seen this one, he's definitely got to put it on the list.
I don't remember
What
Kevin
is it?
Costner playing a Detroit Tiger.
Yeah,
For love of the game.
Yeah, he threw a perfect.
For
game
love of the
at
game.
I wonder
end.
if I've seen that.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wonder,
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
But he's got a pitch against the Yankees, and the manager's walking around looking for him. He's going to start in 60 minutes, and he finds him. All of a sudden, he appears in the bullpen warming up, and he's like, "Well, since you're throwing bullets, I won't mention I've been walking around here for 3 hours wondering who my starting pitcher is going to be today." And he's like, "Well, in 21 years, have I ever not showed?" And he said, "Yeah, that's true of everybody till the first time it happened." So that's where that came from.
Okay. All right. I
For
always
love of
wondered
the
that.
game, if you hadn't seen that one, you got to see it, David.
For the love of the game.
Yes.
I've seen it.
You would know it if you've seen it, but
I
you haven't,
have
so you
seen
haven't
it.
seen it.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, let's take a quick little break,
yeah,
guys.
let's do
We got
that.
a little bit of last week to get into still, and a little bit of this week too, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that.
And we're gonna go figure out something to play for Dave.
well, why we do that? And then after we get through college football, our second hour or part of the second hour will be we're going to go through all the NFL this games weekend. This
Yeah,
weekend's
we got
games,
a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
and you guys can give out your picks for this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, put it on the break, brother. We'll
Yep.
be right back.
I've got a golden ticket.
That's a winner!
Oh, we got 5.
And we are back here at DraftKings at Casino Queen. Clemson John, David, and Damian joining us here. And 30 minutes, about 35 minutes till kickoff for the Lions and Chiefs. Week 2 getting into action for the college football season. And one of the public's favorite bets in baseball tonight is up 3-0.
Yeah.
Wainwright's pitching with an 8 ERA. Yeah, you heard me right. 8 ERA.
Yeah, the guy to come by
He's
and
probably down 3-0.
guy come by and wanted a certain lock of the day to bet. And all three of us agreed Atlanta minus a 1.5, but he didn't like it, so he didn't bet it.
I always have this thing: if you're gonna ask somebody for their advice, you don't tell them no.
Well, I mean,
Well,
it could be some crazy.
Are you what
advice.
is it? It's like ask until you agree with us. Is that what it's supposed to be?
That seemed to be what it
I'm gonna
is.
ask you like 20 questions, and when you hit one that I agree with you, that's the one I'll go with.
We all gave him a different play, and then we all
Yeah.
agreed on Atlanta minus a 1.5.
Right. Yeah.
And he still didn't like it. And
That's
you know,
okay though. It's his money.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
absolutely. But like I said, if you're gonna, why ask us?
That's my point. If you don't
we
want
gave
my
him four-
advice, don't
We
ask.
gave him 4 different picks, and he didn't like any of the 4.
I think we should have parlayed all of our picks.
I wish we would have. Now,
know,
but
right?
We didn't get the chance to do it.
I know. I didn't even think about
before
that.
the Atlanta game started.
Yeah. All right. So hey, before we go on, well, we can talk about this later. This is NFL. We can talk. John, I know you got some more games you want to talk about from this past weekend, but
I had a, despite Clemson breaking my heart, I'm still licking my wounds and, wait 7 months and have to watch Monday night, it's pretty brutal. So I'm still licking my wounds from that. But despite that, Saturday we had a pretty good day.
Yeah.
I was on East Carolina, the Pirates to cover 36.5. And they get there 30-3. They lose 30-3, cover the 36.5. The Pirates of East Carolina.
I believe Michigan's like a 36.5 point favorite again over UNLV. So
Yeah.
it's 37. I just looked. So
Yeah.
you know what I miss about the running Rebels?
Yeah.
The basketball.
the
The
basketball.
basketball.
Yeah.
Man,
Jerry
I was
Tarkanian.
Yeah.
I was a running
the
rebel.
towel-biting coach.
I was a running rebel fan growing
Yeah,
up.
who wasn't,
Oh
you
my
know?
god, how much
I
fun was
loved
that?
it. It was Duke against the UNLV.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
either were for you liked UNLV or you hated
Well,
Duke.
I grew up around gambling, so
Yeah.
how do I not go with UNLV? I
I,
didn't know. I didn't even know where Duke was when I was a kid.
I'm going to tell you my favorite Jerry Tarkanian story, and for this, I will always love Jerry Tarkanian. If you remember in the 91 NCAA tournament, if you remember, Loyola Marymount had Hank Gathers died for Loyola Marymount before the
Yeah.
tournament started.
Yes,
And Bo Kimball led the Loyola Marymount Lions
Bo
on that,
Kimball.
on that incredible run to the Final 8. They beat Michigan, which was the 3 seed. They beat Alabama, and they ended up playing the number 1. I can't remember who they beat in the first round, but they beat Michigan and Alabama, and they ended up running up against UNLV, that incredible UNLV team, in the Final 8. And UNLV was up by, like, if you remember, Bo Kimball shot every first free throw left-handed to honor Hank Gathers.
Yep.
And and Bo Kimball made them in the previous games. Well, very, very late in that game, UNLV was up by 30, whatever it was. I believe it was 30 at the time. Bo Kimball had not been to the free throw line. So Jerry Tarkanian had one of his players foul Bo Kimball, so he could go to the free throw line in honor of Hank Gathers and shoot the free throw. So
Hey Jeff.
just based on that
Hey,
one play alone, I'm
Thanks
a
again.
huge
Was that circa 1991?
just based
91.
on that one play. I forever loved Jerry Tarkanian. I remember it almost brings me to tears now just thinking about it.
So many great coaches in that era.
Yeah.
Late 80s, late 80s to the whole 90s.
Yeah, Denny
Lute
Denny
Olson
Crum
at
Louisville,
Arizona.
Dean Smith,
Yeah.
Krzyzewski had already been established at UNLV.
Yep.
Jim Valvano was still at NC State.
Yep.
I mean, still you had John Thompson and Jim Boeheim.
John Chaney.
John Chaney. At
Remember the
Temple.
John Chaney, John Calipari
Yeah.
scuffle in the post-game press conference?
Calipari was still at UMass at the time.
Yeah, Chaney says, "I'll
know.
kick your ass, Calipari."
Rick Pitino was at
Wow.
Providence.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I mean, just great
Is your
time
boy
for college
listening?
basketball.
Yeah, that's a great era. You're right. It's hard to pass. Hard to pass that era. But yeah, we were on East Carolina plus the points. Got
Hey,
cash there.
Kevin, give me your ticket.
Alabama minus 39
Give
and
me
a
your
half
ticket.
got home, Damien.
Let me
I had
see your
that
ticket.
one. So we started off 2-0 there. I had Penn State to demolish West Virginia.
Oh, that was the nastiest cover of the week, people.
Yep.
West Virginia's down. They're not called. They're out of timeouts. They're not.
It was
obviously not
38
calling
to
No,
15
just give me
final,
the
you
one.
guys,
Yeah,
just so
it was-
you know.
The line was 21.
Yep.
Penn State was up
Yeah.
31 to 15 at the 6-yard line with 15 seconds left on a second down. West Virginia is out of timeouts. Literally 99% of the coaches just take a knee in that spot and let the game end. Well, not Mr. Franklin. He decides to run a play. Penn State scores to cover the game.
Yep.
I have a couple of my friends who you talk about, they're wondering about sports gambling and college football.
Penn State scored a
there's some-
touchdown with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, there's some people who think that game should
They're
be,
up 31 to
There's
15.
some people who
They
think that
score a
should be
touchdown with
investigated.
5 seconds left instead of kneeling it, and they cover 38-15.
Wow.
Just absolutely disgusting.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it. I had Penn State to smash them. So I was on the Penn State cover train, so
Wow.
we were happy on the couch right then. So that worked out great.
Yeah,
But that was one of the
disgusting.
that'll be one of the sickest covers all season. It absolutely will be because it
Was that
should
the
have
San-
never
was
happened.
that the Sandusky years?
Huh?
Was that the Sandusky years?
No, that happened
Was
the other day.
That was the other day.
Saturday.
I wasn't paying attention to your
Penn
conversation.
State,
I
West
was,
Virginia.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at this ticket.
I had Penn State, so I was like, oh, thank God, he scores and we get there on the nasty cover. That's going to be one of the nastiest covers of the year. There's no reason they should have ran a play.
No.
They should have kneeled on it.
You guys saw this ticket real quick. This is $20 to win 47,000. Our buddy Crazy Kevin. If you guys ever know, if any of you know One Time Kevin, haven't seen him in years, and I we walk into each other here at DraftKings Casino Queen. I think he just threw $20 in the trash. But
Hey,
know,
what you're
I'll be
saying? If you the moon and the stars, what is it?
a line?
No, if
What?
you
I don't know.
I will
take
tell
a
you.
shot at the moon, you land amongst the stars.
I will tell you. The only one of those games I really hate is the Rams.
Yeah.
That's the only game in that
They
that whole
can't win-
group
that yeah.
I don't see having any chance of winning.
He-
I could see every other game in that. I could see every other game in that parlay having a shot.
All
of
right.
winning.
So what it is, it's $20 ticket, 9-teamer, right? I
Yeah.
think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 9-teamer, 20. And $20 to win 47,000. Kevin, we will be rooting for you. If this thing is still going Monday night, we have suggestions on how you can walk away with a bunch of money guaranteed. I like it. Crazy Kevin, one time, right? Get out your one-time shirt. One time. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, $20 won 47,000.
DraftKings thanks you for your deposit. Yeah, thank you for your action, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
$20 to win
Hey, we've seen
47,000.
crazier things happen,
Yes.
though, right?
Yeah.
Money Mike, the son. Son. Yeah. Does he quit? Does your son quit his job for 47,000? He can't.
We all have a number, though.
47,000 is not my number,
It's over mine.
but I would take a nice hiatus.
Yeah, 5. I'd have to 5x that, and then we can pump the brakes on the working lifestyle.
I
David.
just figured at my age, I'm 52. What is my number to never work again? And I have that number. And my friend David Sanders would highly disagree with me not working anymore the rest of my life. But $800,000 is my number to take a shot at never working again. David, I know you got some input on that, so I'd love to hear about that. And I know you think I'm crazy. He won't be cashing out early. Well,
Is
if
that
they
after taxes?
after taxes, they have to be clear, 800 grand. 47,000. Well, that's yeah. I mean, if he's still working with 47 million, I mean, that's up to him, man. $2.6 million for $2.
All the money line dogs is 6 million to 1.
In NFL?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Yeah.
How many games are there? Let's see. There's
15,
16 games?
16.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's including like the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots. The
Let's
Houston
put
Texans.
$1 a piece on that. $3. And then that hit my magic number of 800,000. I'm done. I can retire if all the dogs win this weekend.
Nice job.
He's
nice job
he's
for the
gonna go.
sponsor there.
He's gonna go. He's gonna make that.
DraftKings
Wait.
to make the wager.
He's gonna go make that bet, and I bet he gives me the ticket. How do you like that? He's just gonna go waste $3.
Yeah, it's got no shot to
Yeah,
hit. Guys.
light it on fire, folks.
We're not advising taking all the money line dogs in the NFL.
It's better to have a ticket than not, especially for free.
Yeah.
He wants to buy us a ticket.
Yeah.
He wants me to retire, John.
Yeah. It would take 6 million.
No.
Yeah.
Leave the Arizona Cardinals out of it. I'll be good with 1.2. I'll be good with 1.2. Yeah. Leave the Arizona Cardinals out of it.
Riffy
please.
says I'll book it.
Yeah. Riffy, we all would book it. The problem is we couldn't pay.
Yeah.
We couldn't pay it.
Exactly.
That's funny. I'm sorry, guys.
I was on Colorado in the points. I didn't have the heart to take the money line, David. I didn't have the heart to take the Buffalo's money line.
That was a game where
I took the points.
The sports books
21, right?
They had to get crushed.
Was it
21?
21?
Got crushed on that game.
Yeah,
The whole public was on Colorado in that game, and they did not move that line. And
look how much of the public money was on it.
Yeah, it was 80-some% of the money was on Colorado in that game. Last time I looked at it, I haven't looked at it since the official final numbers, but I mean, it was insane how much money went Colorado in that game, and the sharp money it actually turned out to be on Colorado, and they definitely the right side of it.
I love the way David thinks. So here's your season-long bets. What David Sanders says about that. What do you think?
What's that?
Yeah. With
Treasury bills yielding over 5%, there's a real cost in placing season-long prop bets. Shabby! Yeah, good to see you. It's going great.
One of our friendly poker players is here. So,
but yeah, Colorado and the points got home for me. I didn't lose many. Let's look at. Let me get back to the last week here and see what I lost here.
you're going to have a million games.
Oh, I lost Purdue.
I was on the other side. I did have Fresno State in that game.
Purdue got a lot of transfers. I thought they'd be able to hold off Fresno. But Purdue scores a touchdown to cover, and then Fresno scores a game-winning touchdown.
I was getting 3.5. I was never not covering, so it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Fresno scored at the end. They were getting 3.5. Fresno was down 3 and scored. Purdue scored with about 5 minutes left, and Fresno came back down and scored.
Yeah, as soon as Purdue scored the touchdown, take the lead, I said, they left a little too much time on the clock. And that was right, unfortunately. Oh, another dog I was on, a big dog. Wyoming to win at home against Texas Tech. That was a good one. Let's see. I'm excited to see Cal play Auburn Saturday.
Yeah, that's my other bet this week that I've been kind of giving out, the over in the Auburn-Cal game.
The Auburn Cal running back Ott had 20 carries for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I try to see if I can find out see what the total is in that game right now. It was in the mid-50s last that I saw.
Mid-50s.
Yeah. So.
I had Toledo in the points.
It's
against Illinois. That's another winner.
54.5 is the total in that Auburn-Cal game. So the over in that game that's my total pick for the week.
I lost LSU Sunday.
Yeah.
I lost Oklahoma State to cover.
I lost the under in the LSU
2
game.
losses.
Florida State could have done the same thing that I just bitched at Penn State for. Look, LSU was not calling timeouts, and Florida State ran a play with 1.5 minutes left when they could have just took 2 knees to end the game and went in for a touchdown. And then LSU scored an obligatory touchdown with seconds to go. But
hey, it may be time that we start calling Tulane the best team in the state of Louisiana. the Green Wave taking care of business 37-17 at home.
Well, I mean, let's move on to this week and see what you like this week. There's
Yeah, we had a good week last week for sure. The week 2 slate, no game tonight really. There's one,
yeah,
but it's just a snoozer with
Murray
Louisville
State,
and Murray State. Louisville was minus 42,
yeah,
43
they were
points.
laying 40 plus.
Yeah. So just a snoozer tonight. Louisville to romp all over Murray. And then tomorrow we do have Illinois, Kansas. Any thoughts there?
No.
Kansas minus 3 and 57 total.
I think that line's about accurate. I'm not going to play it.
Illinois going to Lawrence.
Kansas struggled.
They lost a lot. Illinois didn't look good Saturday, and they lost a lot.
Kansas struggled with whoever they played one of the Division I AA.
Yeah, they
teams
looked.
last
See,
week.
Missouri State.
Yeah, they didn't. They struggled.
didn't look very
They
good.
struggled in that game. It's two not very good teams. I the 3 points at home probably seems to be about right.
Notre Dame, NC State's going to be an interesting game at 11 a.m. Saturday.
I know there's some people that are on NC State in that game. Sam Hartman's played in that stadium before. Notre Dame's looked dominant in their first 2
Notre
games.
Dame minus 7.5.
NC State played, I mean, they played, was it UConn?
Yep, at UConn.
At UConn.
Yep.
They won the game, did not cover.
Yep.
I don't know how good NC State is. Like I said, Notre Dame's been very impressive in 2 games. This would be their first semi-decent test of the year. I would probably, if you put a gun to my head, still lay the points. And I like taking home dogs, but I'm not touching it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. As good as Notre Dame's looked defensively, physicality, as good as Sam Hartman's kind of looked. We'll see. Notre Dame has not played anybody who can throw the ball yet.
No.
I don't know if Brennan Armstrong
Thank you
can
very
throw the ball
much.
at NC State, but it's going to be their best test so far.
Yeah,
Throwing the ball.
it'll be the first test.
Utah going to Baylor after the Baylor Bears lose an embarrassing game against Texas State.
And Baylor lost
Saturday.
their quarterback. So
Yeah,
they'll
and they
be
lose
out.
their quarterback. Utah minus 8.
And from what I understand, Cam Rising is going to be playing. That's kind of a weird line that it's only 8 after
Yeah.
Baylor's debacle against a not very good Texas State team, and the fact that Utah pretty thoroughly dominated Florida with a backup quarterback.
Yep.
That line's really fishy. So,
Yeah, you'd think it'd be somewhere around 13 for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even up to 14.
Yeah.
Purdue going on the road to Virginia Tech. We don't know much about Virginia Tech. They took care of business against Old Dominion. Don't know much about them there. Boston College with an embarrassing loss against Northern Illinois. They play Holy Cross. And the main 11 a.m. game, the main entree in the morning, Colorado and Nebraska.
I've already told you to take Colorado. Take Nebraska, excuse me. I already told you to take Nebraska in that game.
Don't want the points?
I'm taking Nebraska. I'm taking Nebraska and the points, and I'm going to tell you all to play the game under.
Yep. 59, big number.
That's a big number. I'm going to tell you all to play the game under.
Yeah.
I
I'd be
actually,
shocked if Nebraska gets more than 3 touchdowns.
Well, actually, I wouldn't be.
They're going to have to slow the game down.
Th-
That's what I'm saying.
I think Nebraska's going to win this game like 27-20. This is a game. Colorado could not stop the run last week, but they kept scoring, and they didn't really have to try to stop the run. They're not going to score like this on Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And I
either.
wouldn't imagine. And like I said, Nebraska turned the ball over 5 times in that game at Minnesota.
Wow.
That's not going to. Yeah.
Turned the ball over 5 times and still had a heartbreaking
and
loss.
lost by 3. Yeah,
They should have won by 2+ scores.
All of Minnesota's scores came after turnovers. Yeah, I mean Nebraska was the better team in that football.
So under 59 and take the points with
Take the 3
the Huskers.
with the Huskers in that game.
Yep, everybody's eyeballs going to be glued to that one.
And I'm going to tell you, the public's going to be all over Colorado.
Yeah, absolutely. Michigan at home again against the Running Rebels. We talked about laying 37.5 with 57 on the total.
Still no Jim. Still no
Harbaugh
for that game. That's a lot of points. And, they didn't look that great against East Carolina last week. Not that I watched much of it.
Yeah, the first half.
So,
23-0 in the first half, and then it just seemed like they had one down on the goal line. This was interesting. They score one on the goal line in the fourth quarter. They bring it back because he didn't get over the end zone. They snap it again from the 1 foot line, and they fumble the ball. East Carolina recovered, and then the game was over after that. There were like 5 minutes left. So that salvaged the cover there.
A sneaky fun game this week would be Tulane and Ole Miss.
Absolutely. Ole Miss
be a sneaky
laying
fun
7.5 against the best team in the state of Louisiana, the Tulane Green Wave.
Now LSU's still better.
The Tulane Green Wave, dude. I'm jumping on the Green Wave bandwagon.
Ole Miss is laying 7.5 on the road. I'm gonna tell you there should be plenty of points in that
66
game.
over on.
I think you should take Tulane in that game. Probably play the over in that game. That should be a fun game to watch.
A lot of points. Ole Miss got a lot of transfers.
Yeah.
A lot of transfers coming in out of the portal. Lane Kiffin using the portal. Texas A&M and Miami.
That game. I think A&M's
laying 4.
They're laying 4. I think they'll win the game. I'm not that big a believer in Miami. I know Miami played fairly well last week, but they played nobody.
16-team parlay, boys, for $8.
16 pick parlay. It's $8 to win 9,000. Good Lord, what did he put together?
He says that goes towards sponsorship for the show if it wins. This is our last week, folks. Sorry, this is our last shot at staying on.
This is all favorites.
Is it?
Yeah, he's learned how to use the machine thanks to me.
Yeah.
I taught him. Huh?
Yeah, he did play all the favorites on the money line.
I told Kevin we needed sponsorship to keep the show going, and so that's it.
Is he paying somebody to?
No, he's not paying
anybody. He's just joking.
No, he's kidding. But that's it. That's our only hope to keep the show
all
going.
Favorites. He took one with all dogs. Now he's got one with all favorites.
16-team favorites.
16-team, all the favorites.
Money line. No, it's all the favorites.
All favorites.
Those were all favorites.
You took all the favorites. Now you got to go back and do all the long shots.
He meant to take all the dogs.
Go do it for $5. It'll be like $500,000.
Didn't he take all the dogs? No. Yeah, that's right. Here.
That's all the favorites.
All the favorites.
That's all the favorites.
You
wanted this to be the dogs? Okay. Take it.
Just hold on to it. Fuck, I'd give him $8.
We got more money, he says.
We got more money. Okay. All right.
We got more tickets and more money.
Okay. Yeah, go make the one with the dogs.
We got more. We got more money. He says. We got more money.
Yeah, we got more money, people. Not all the losers. He said, so let me get this straight. We want all the losers is what we want. No, you want the underdogs. Yeah.
Not the losers.
Not the losers.
Yeah. You don't want to bet it if it's going to lose. He'll be right back. Yeah. More Kevin to come. More Kevin to come.
My favorite Kevin quote of the day before the show, he says, I play a lot of poker. I get it in really bad, and I pray.
And Dave's usually there to bail me out.
Yeah. Yeah, one way or another.
I get it in bad, and I pray.
Dave finds that card from the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, let's not get too crazy here, guys. All right, I'd like to keep my license. All right.
At least for a few more months.
Yeah, a few more months anyway.
Well, guys, A&M Miami. What'd you think on that one, Damian?
I think A&M's going to cover that line.
Yeah. It's a game. It's a game Jimbo needs to win.
Yeah.
Jimbo needs to start winning some games, or he's going to be calling the Ryder Moving Company.
Yeah.
The basketball season's a few months away, but he's going to be placing some calls to the Ryder University Moving Company because he's going to be moving out of town if he don't start winning some games. So Jimbo needs that.
Yeah.
He's
How
under a
many
lot of
more
pressure.
college games we're going to cover?
Many as you want, David.
Well, I know. I'd like to get to the NFL, though. We only have a certain amount of time. I know, John, that's heartbreaking for you.
No.
But we got 15
Oh,
more games
here's
to
our
cover.
annual Iowa State game.
Under. Stake the under. What's the line?
3.5 at Iowa State.
Have they learned yet?
36.5.
36 and well, they learned. They
I
learned.
Yeah, and
Iowa scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter last week.
They didn't know what to do with it.
Still didn't cover.
They got J.J. McCarthy this year. It's helping a little bit.
And I would tell you, I would probably take the points in that game on the road. You're getting 3.5 with 2 teams that can't score. So
Yeah. Yep.
If I'm getting 3.5 and 2 teams that can't score, I think that's where you want to go. I think in that game.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see the ticket that comes back with Kevin. Well,
App State getting 19 points rolling into Chapel Hill.
Last
58.5.
The last 3 years, those 2 teams have played. And North Carolina's won by 3, 2, and 3 points.
Yep.
and you're getting 19.
And every game's went over.
In every game, and yeah, so that's a game where App State could be dangerous in that game. They just always seem to play North Carolina tough. North Carolina just come off the big game with South Carolina.
The reason it's a big line is App State lost a lot last year. They lost Chase Bryce, the former Clemson quarterback, Chase Bryce. So they lose him, and they lost a lot of skill positions. So that's the reason it's 19 into Chapel Hill. And then the College Game Day game of the week, the Longhorns against the Tide. Roll, Tide, roll. Where are we going, Damian?
I'm taking Texas in the 7.
You taking the 7
I'm
points?
taking the 7 with Texas.
Wow,
They
this
played-
is going to
they
be the game of the week for
They-
sure to
yeah,
watch.
they played that game last year. Alabama was incredibly fortunate to win that game last year.
What time's the game, John?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock spot.
And I am off.
College Game Day down in
I am
Tuscaloosa.
off on Saturday. I will be watching.
Absolutely.
I took that day off of work, so
Yeah, and we're going to find out a lot about this Alabama quarterback situation.
yes.
Jalen Milroe and Tyler Bucknell, and where are they going? Quarterbacks.
This is a game where Alabama is not going to be able to physically manhandle
Like they did
like
Middle
they did with
Tennessee
Middle
State
Tennessee
last week.
State. I believe that's who Missouri plays this week. So Missouri's got their double bye before they have to play somebody real.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the game I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that Texas Alabama game.
Yeah, that's going to be the game of the week for sure. You mentioned Mizzou. They're 21-point favorites. They shut it down on me and didn't cover on that week 0 slot.
I tried to warn you.
Mizzou minus 27. They were up 21 in the first half and didn't cover.
I tried to warn you on that game that something stunk, and it did.
What do you like tonight? I like
Everybody likes
the Lions.
crowd saying they like the Lions. Everybody all over Detroit.
I love.
Here's a sneaky game.
Oh, here we go. Have we covered them all yet?
Here's a sneaky one, David. There's a sneaky one. Can you
He's
see that?
pointing out Furman, South Carolina.
Yeah.
There's no line on the game. There ain't nothing sneaky about it.
There is.
Nobody's going to watch the game.
That's a sneaky
Even
game.
the South Carolina fans are not going to go to watch that game.
Furman won that FCS last year.
Furman Paladins.
They're a very good team. I don't know if there's a line out or not. It's not
There
posted
is
here.
no line in that game.
Well, there will be, but that's not the point. It's going to be a sneaky one.
So
Yeah. I try to tell everybody about Furman in March. The Paladins. It's going to be a sneaky game.
Are you ready for a break?
Am I ready for a break?
Yeah.
let's just stop the college. You can take a break, and we'll talk NFL for the last segment.
Yeah. We got to cover.
We've
We got to
hit
cover
all the-
15 games.
We've hit all the college games.
We got some
that are
fantasy to
important.
talk
All
about
right.
also.
Well, when Furman beats South Carolina, don't say I didn't tell you.
All right. Well, you told us, so we're good. Bring up the break thing. All right. Yeah, bring up the
You guys
break
want
thing.
to take a break?
Yeah, we want 2 minutes. Then we'll
All
come back and talk some NFL. We're going to talk a little fantasy, and then we'll talk the lines for this weekend. Break time.
I've got a golden ticket.
That's a winner!
Jack, 88 of me, let this guy walk out for $5 for 85 times 3. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll take it. That's unbelievable. Are we back?
That's-
We're back. We are back live at DraftKings and Casino Queen. We have our future sponsorship tickets right here, thanks to Kevin. One-time Kevin.
He's got some wild and crazy
He has-
tickets.
These tickets are not his. He has donated these tickets to the winning ticket. I mean, he's like, you got a better shot of hitting the Powerball. But this last one is here, Damien. I can't see. I don't have my glasses on.
$5 to win 80-something
Yeah,
thousand.
$5 to win $85,600.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, he took the
So we've got Detroit.
Texans beating Baltimore.
We've got
Oh, he left Arizona. No, he picked Arizona.
got Houston over Baltimore, Tampa over Minnesota, the Colts over the Jags, the Pats over the Eagles, the Rams over Seattle, the Raiders over the Broncos, and the Giants over the Cowboys. I think he took the 10 longest shots on the
He
board.
did.
Just,
$5 to win
Who's
85.
the Arizona
$1,000.
quarterback? It ain't Colt McCoy anymore.
we don't know if it's
No.
going to be Josh Dobbs or
But-
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Wait a second. Who
The
cares
quarterback
about
for
any of
Houston.
that? How many people walked up here and gave us a shot at $85,000?
No, I'm just wondering who they're.
Yeah,
one
seriously.
Yeah.
We love it. Thank you, Kevin. You
Thank
have
you
a great
very
evening.
much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, no.
One time, Kevin.
He's
he's-
got to go back to work.
He's got to
he
pay for
says.
these tickets.
He's got to pay for these tickets, I guess.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
We got a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what we got. We can keep the show going a couple more weeks. And by the way, at any point, I will take the cash out option.
Yes. Yes.
I would take it here after the third
Yeah.
game.
If he wins the noon games, if it looks like he's going to win,
I
the
will
noon
be
games,
running over
he'll be
here.
driving over here at 150
I
miles
will.
an
I
hour.
will take the cash out option. Believe me, if we get like 6 in, they might give us a decent cash out option.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like $30. I'll take the 30. No, we'd let it ride.
What's the odds on that? I can't calculate
Well,
it. It's just a fifth of
Yeah,
80.
yeah. So
10,
yeah,
12,
it's like
15,000?
17,000 to 1.
17,000?
17,110 to 1.
17,000 to 1 shot.
17,112 to 1. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Hey, at least so you're saying there's a chance.
Well, there's always a chance.
Hey, I like this one better though. The 16 team favorite
The
one.
all favorite one, yeah.
The all favorite ones. All favorites, money line, $8 to win. That was nice though. It's just a nice gesture.
Yeah,
I like it. I hope it's more than a gesture. We'll be
Yeah.
eating the $30 steak special next week.
And that one is
And
9,000.
we'll be tipping 100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
a little more than that.
yeah.
It'll be their best day they've ever had. I promise you that. All right, we got a quick fantasy question for you guys. I know who I would pick. Weekly fantasy, season-long fantasy, but for this week, Trevor Lawrence or Dak Prescott. This week, I'm taking Trevor.
As am I.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to.
Yeah,
Hard not to.
yeah. I
I
like.
wish I could take Trevor and put him back in that orange uniform.
Yeah, you could use them right now.
I could use that defense.
Yeah,
I can use Brent Venables. Hey, Brent, can you come back, please?
All right.
Oklahoma just announced they're going to abandon their football program. Come back to Clemson, Venables. We need you.
All right, one more before we get to. We're gonna go right down the card for Sunday NFL and go over each game. Yeah, Mr. Riffy owns some race horses.
Yeah.
So loyal friend, and watches and listens to the show. He owns a horse named Willa T, running at Del Mar Racetrack in beautiful, sunny Southern California tomorrow night. Big $82,000 purse.
What time's the race start?
I'm going to tell you. Race 7, horse number 9, 8 to 1 morning line odds. So nice price.
Oh, okay.
Nice little morning line price. I have no idea what the horse is actually going to go off at. But
What's the name of the horse?
Willa T. WILLA
Willa T.
T. Willa T. Del Mar, race 7, number 9, 8 to 1 odds. Good luck, Mr. Riffy. You know we'll be rooting for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That tickles me all over anytime we can talk a little horse racing in the mix. I know how much you love it, Damien, right?
I love when we're done talking.
Yeah. Well, we're done. We've got about 40 minutes left. So let's go right down the card. We'll start off noon on Sunday. 49ers, Pittsburgh Steelers, +2 at home. Damien.
We all know I bet the Steelers plus the 3.5 earlier. I'm still on the Steelers. I believe the Steelers win the football game.
All right, John.
George Kittle is very questionable right now. May not play. The big loss for San Francisco. He's the best all-around tight end in the NFL. He's a tremendous blocker, very good receiver. Now they did get Joey Bosa back, or Nick Bosa, excuse me, back. He did sign his
Yeah, it's not a
contract
big
today.
contract.
What do you
He's gonna be
get?
The highest paid
A lot
defensive
of money.
player in,
A lot
I
of
think it was
money.
5 years, 140 million or something.
Wow.
He's the highest paid defensive player in the NFL now.
Wow.
Guy's really good. He'll be back. Don't know how.
Wonder
effective
how much
he's
is
gonna be.
guaranteed?
Oh, I guarantee it's going to be
Half?
Half is going to be guaranteed.
Yeah.
And the other thing, it's usually a very profitable thing to bet a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast playing a noon game. The West Coast teams generally, other than the Seahawks, for some reason, who do very well, most of the rest of the West Coast teams coming to the East Coast play early starts don't fare too typically well in those type of games. So,
Okay, over under 41.5, Damien.
well, if you put a gun on them, those are two very, very good defenses. I would probably go ahead and take the under in the game. I think it's going to be a 17-13 kind of dogfight. I believe the Steelers right now are just the better team at this point.
I got to see more of Brock Purdy to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how he's going to. This will be his first.
I watched him play at Iowa State.
This will be his
I gotta
first
see more to
serious
believe it.
action since he's had the surgery. What's he going to do when he actually gets hit? And he will get hit with T.J. Watt coming from one side and Highsmith coming from the other. It's going to be, I want to see how he reacts when he gets hit too. So I have a feeling it's going to be a low-scoring dogfight. The Steelers squeak out a win in that game.
Yeah, it
Right.
moved from 43.5 to 41.5.
Yeah, John, you and I talked about this earlier today. Survivor pools. I can't imagine that Washington Commanders are going to be used heavily first week. -7 at home versus the Cardinals.
Yep.
-325 on the money line. Over under 38. They don't.
Yeah.
The,
a lot of
the experts
survivors this year are going to
but
be.
they don't think
picked
they don't
against
think the
Arizona.
Cardinals are going to score here. That's what they're saying. 38 is the over under. Washington -7. They don't think the Cardinals are going to score much.
Washington is, I mean, Arizona's bad. They're really bad. And it looks like Arizona's tanking for the USC quarterback. The problem is the USC quarterback's dad said, well, we may not come out because if there's a team that's we don't want to have as the number one pick that has the number one pick, we may not go there.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot of players, they like going to Arizona. There's a lot of attraction to going to Arizona. The city, it's a great place to play. I know they're bad, but
outside of them being a great team, it's
Yeah.
an attractive. City.
Yeah, so
By the way, the Cardinals
it's
scored
not like-
to tie the game.
oh
It's 3-3. It's still 3-3.
wow, look at Wainwright shutting down.
Yeah, it's the third inning. We're not even through the Atlanta third yet. But they did tie it up, nonetheless.
John, you got an opinion on this -7 over under
Um,
38? Any
Looks
either one?
like Josh Dobbs is going to be the quarterback.
Okay,
That's all I need to know.
all right,
He's about as bad as they get.
all right. So we like
Outside of playing for Tennessee, he was a good quarterback at University of Tennessee. He threw one of the most famous passes to beat Georgia, a Hail Mary at the buzzer to beat the Dogs in Athens.
Wait, have they kicked off?
Yeah, I'm sure they
Yeah.
probably have.
You want to pull it up, John?
Yeah, it's right here. Can you
Oh,
see
there it is. Oh, I cannot. I'm blocked.
Oh, you're blocked.
I'm blocked, but that's okay. The game has kicked off. NFL season is off and running.
So yeah, I can't take the Cardinals with Josh
Alright.
Dobbs being the
All
quarterback.
right, Commanders -7. I think we all like that a lot. So, Carolina Panthers going in at Atlanta. Atlanta -3.5. Over under 39.5.
If you remember, I bet this game months ago when it was 2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you like Atlanta.
yeah,
Yeah, I do too. We have a lot to see from Carolina yet, right? The rookie playing right for Atlanta. What's his name?
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson.
Guy, I bet both on him and Anthony Richardson to be rookie of the year offensively.
What kind of price did you get?
Robinson, I believe, was plus 250, and then the quarterback was plus 700.
Okay.
So I think I got the two best options there. I have a sneaking suspicion that Richardson's going to rush for 1,000 yards as a quarterback.
All right. I want your opinion, both of you, on this. I'm a huge Ravens fan. They're giving 10 against the Texans at home. I like the Texans plus 10, tell you the truth. That's a lot of points. I don't think the Texans are that bad.
I think Baltimore wins this game comfortably.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll be rooting for Baltimore to win, but
I'm going to say a 27-3 type of final.
oh, wow. Okay. All right, John, you got an opinion?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know much about C.J. Stroud yet,
Yeah.
but we're going to find it out.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of preseason action to go off. He looked terrible in the preseason.
Rookie quarterback on the road, quality defense.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just tends a lot.
Houston could not stop the run. They couldn't protect the passer, and they could not stop the run last year. Now Houston did get, stud on the defensive line that'll help them out dramatically. The kid from Alabama, he will make an impact, but I think there's still too many holes on that team you just take. I just think Baltimore wins the game relatively easily. I don't want any part of a rookie quarterback on the road in a hostile environment in his first game.
It makes sense. Okay. This is a game that I like probably more than most of the weekend. Tennessee getting 3 at the Saints. I like the Saints -3 over under 41.
Yeah, Derek Carr, the fighting
Yeah.
Derek Carr's coming out.
Yep.
First
That's
week
probably
of
the
action.
game I like the most.
I'm actually
weekend.
on the other. I'm actually going to go the other way on that game. I'm
Alright.
going to take 3 points in a game where I think it's fairly even. Both teams are walking into the game fairly healthy. Tennessee with Hopkins and Treylon Burks on the outside. That's 2 pretty good weapons that they're going to have to deal with. This is Carr's first game. I love Chris Olave as a receiver. They don't have Alvin Kamara. They have a plotting running back in Jamal Williams. I think Tennessee is the right side of this game.
Okay. John, you got an opinion before we move forward?
Nah, I'm staying away from that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints come out looking halfway decent with Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr's got a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Out of Las Vegas.
Detroit went 3 and out on their first possession.
That's
by the way.
okay. I got the under.
I know it's 3rd and 3.
I got it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I got
First down.
Detroit.
Damien's cheating.
That's all right. I got Detroit to win by 1-7. That's what I got. And the under. I bet them separately.
Yep.
So I got the under 53. So it's kind of good, right? We don't really want. Was it that much behind?
Yeah.
It's about
Wow.
45 seconds behind.
Oh,
or
okay.
so.
All right. Where are we at? Tampa Bay getting 5.5 at Minnesota.
Oh, man.
I like the over in this game.
It's 45.5.
I like the over in this game. I think you're going to see a lot of points scored in that game.
Yeah. I just, Tampa Bay's got a lot of question marks.
Oh, absolutely they do, but Minnesota doesn't have much on defense.
Baker starting.
Yes. But, he has Evans and Godwin, who are two pretty good, high-quality receivers.
I'm a Baker fan. I don't have a problem with
I'm
Baker.
not a Baker fan. I just think this, Minnesota, I don't believe has much of a defense. I think the best thing Minnesota did on the offseason was hiring the defensive coordinator, the guy that used to be at Flores. I think that's the best thing that they did all offseason. He'll help just schematically, but I mean they're replacing their best cornerback, their best 2 defensive linemen, their best 2 linebackers. I mean, this is a whole revamped defense for Minnesota, and it wasn't a good defense last year. So what they're bringing back wasn't good. And they use a 1st-round pick on Jordan Addison, who will help offensively tremendously. But I really like the over in this game. I think that game's going to be 34-21 type of game. I think you're going to see a lot of points in that game.
All right, Bengals, Browns in Cleveland. Cleveland getting 2.5 at home.
I really like Cleveland in this game. Cleveland's beat Cincinnati 5 of the last 6 times. They're like kryptonite for Cincinnati. And Cleveland upgraded tremendously on the defensive line. Joe Burrow, we don't know how healthy Joe Burrow is yet. I mean, he came back. He's practicing. Reports I'm seeing have been mixed. That he still looks like he's hobbled by the injury. I have Myles Garrett on one side, Alvin Tomlinson in the middle. I mean, it's a lot to ask. Trying to block that Cleveland defensive line in a road game, division road game.
I'm excited to see how Deshaun looks.
Yeah.
Excited, so I'll be cheering for the Brownies.
Let's see. We got Jacksonville Jaguars at Indy. This line moved, right? It says -5 here.
Yeah, that line's gone up since Jonathan Taylor quit.
Yeah. What is it?
No, it was down to 3.5 a week, 3.5. Now it's jumped to 5.
It's 5. Yeah, it's 5
And
here.
this is just a bad effort. I don't know what Indy's going to do with this. I mean,
Who do they have? Who do they have?
I mean, I know I bet Indy. I told everybody I bet Indianapolis a long time ago. I'm not really I really don't like that bet as much as I did when I bet it. I'm still a big Anthony Richardson fan, but Jacksonville is still without their 2 top offensive linemen from last year. So Indy should be able to. I think they may be able to keep that game close for a while, but I expect Jacksonville to probably pull away and cover at the end of that game.
Okay. Eagles, Patriots. Patriots getting 4 at home. A lot of road dogs. A lot of road dogs this week.
Road favorites.
I mean road favorites. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think teams lose the Super Bowl tend to have a hangover the next year. Philly lost a lot. People don't realize how much Philadelphia lost. They lost a lot of their secondary and linebackers. Lost 2/5 of their offensive line. I mean, they had a nice draft, but I'm going to take New England in the 4 points.
That's what I like.
Really?
Yeah, I like it also.
I
John,
think
you
it's
got an opinion?
I think it's going to be a very close
I'd
game.
like it a lot if I could pick another quarterback for New England, but they got Mac Jones. Never been a fan.
That's your best argument. That's the best argument for picking against New England.
Okay. I don't think he's as bad as you think he is, but Green. Go ahead.
Kansas City, by the way, they got 1 first down and they're going to be punting.
Okay,
So-
I like it. Under, baby. Detroit and under. Detroit win by less than
Detroit
7.
1-6,
1-7.
1-7.
Yeah. I like it. Let's see, we got Green Bay getting 1 at the Bears.
Green Bay's top 2 receivers are questionable coming into this game. The more I've looked at that game and all the research and insight I'm having, I really want to play the Packers in that game. But if both those receivers are out, Jalen Reed might be a great play in daily fantasy, by the way. He's bare minimum price. If you see both those Packers receivers, Watson and Dobbs, out of the game, you may want to seriously consider using Jalen Reed in daily fantasy. I think Green Bay is going to win the game anyway. I don't like the way the Bears looked in the preseason, even with the upgrades that they made in the offseason. You know, I haven't been impressed with them, especially defensively, and how they've looked. Their offensive line really didn't look that great. I'm going to be on Green Bay. I think Green Bay looked really good. Jordan Love is more mobile than Rodgers was at the end of last year. And he's got some weapons with Aaron Jones and Dillon. Luke Musgrave, the tight end, looks like the real deal. For any of you looking maybe for a tight end on the waiver wire with Kelsey being out, Luke Musgrave may be a thought for you this week. You might probably be able to get him on the waiver wire.
I like the under 42 in that game. What do you think?
I'd probably play the over in that
Yeah.
game.
Okay. Well, we disagree a lot this week,
Yeah.
but you're the master.
Well, we'll see.
You're the master. Okay,
We'll find out
we'll
next
find
week.
out. Right? Yeah, for sure. We'll find out Sunday. Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks laying 5.5.
I believe Seattle takes the Rams to the woodshed and beats the living daylights out of them.
Okay.
That's going to be a beat down of epic proportions. No Cooper Kupp. The Rams have very little wide receiver. Tyler Higbee also may be a thought for some of you trying to replace Travis Kelce or George Kittle if Kittle doesn't play this week. By the way, if Mark Andrews doesn't play and he's also questionable, Isaiah likely in Baltimore, he'd be a definite top 5 tight end. So keep him in mind.
Probably won't be that expensive either.
No, yeah. Well, you pick him up on the waiver wire also if you're doing fantasy if Andrews is out. But yeah, I believe the Rams should do what I've been saying that Arizona looks like they're doing and just completely tank the season. You've already lost Cooper Kupp. You went to see a specialist. I doubt you see Cooper Kupp the first month of the season. If you're the Rams and you're 0-4, I would trade Aaron Donald. Maybe trade Matt Stafford if somebody wants him and just tank the year. And, Caleb Williams will go to Los Angeles. Play for the Rams.
All right, the game of the week we all looking forward to watching. The Dolphins at the Chargers. Chargers laying 3 to the Dolphins. I'm going with Miami.
I am as well. Last year, the Chargers embarrassed the Dolphins in that game. They played each other. I love the revenge angle. I mean, yeah, the Dolphins are going to be missing Jalen Ramsey. That's a big loss for the first half of the season. But, I mean, the Dolphins are going to be dangerously good offensively. Obviously, Tua's health right now is fine. So, I really like Miami. I think that's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm all over the over in that game.
51.
I will be playing the over in that game.
Okay, we're last Sunday day game. The Raiders at the Broncos.
My favorite play of the week.
Broncos minus 3.5.
Yeah, 44.
Oh yeah, over unders 44.
Under.
John doesn't like unders. He likes overs. So for him to say unders,
I'll do some unders.
yeah, some
I would have
alternate line unders.
I would have to tend to agree. I mean,
Yeah,
Denver's got.
I think it's a Miami under the Las Vegas game parlay for me. I think I'm going to stick a parlay in there on those two.
Denver's got 2 wide receivers right now. I mean, Jerry Jeudy, he's practicing. I doubt he plays this week. But the two, Denver's got Cortland Sutton and they got the rookie Marvin Mims. They got nothing behind him at wide receiver.
Denver can't be as bad as they were last year, but
Javonte Williams.
Still, it's still under at 44.
Yeah, Javonte Williams. I think you're going to get. I think Javonte Williams will be all right in this game. I know some people are hesitant to use him his first game back from the torn ACL last year. Denver did upgrade their offensive line. Chandler Jones has been an issue for the Raiders. He's basically called out the organization. There's some dissension on that squad with some of the stuff. I would tend to think Denver and I don't have a really solid thought on the side of that game, but I do tend to play the under. By the way, Detroit just ran a fake punt from their own 17 and got the first down.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow!
So,
Check this out. Let's watch it.
Yeah, let's watch
We're
it.
about
All right.
45 seconds
Yeah,
behind.
we're behind everybody.
So let's watch this fake punt here.
All right, here
Wow.
we go.
So
Well, it's going to be in a
Yeah, it's
give me
good.
a second.
But I can't believe Sean Payton's going to be as bad as the Broncos were last year. But still, 44 with Denver. No.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like that a lot. All right,
Here we
Sunday.
go.
Here we go. Fake
Here's
punt.
our
Oh,
first-
from their own 14.
Our first
Their
look
own
at the fake
17.
punt here. Oh, they spiked it. They hiked it up the middle.
Wow.
Line.
Wow. There we go. That'll get them
Wow.
pumped
Hat
up.
on a hat. Big boy football.
That might have been ball game right there.
Hat on a hat.
Wow. Going at
Big boy football.
9 minutes left in the first. They're going
On his own 17.
on his own 17.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
nobody would have expected
Look
that.
at this.
Wow.
Hikes it to the back and
The
then
up
just
back and the up back.
Wow.
The up back powered his way.
So
He
it's
earned
4th
that
and
first
1,
down.
right?
No, it was 4th and 2.
4th and 2.
And he
Wow.
got 3. He earned it. He was hit behind the line. He fell forward. He bounced off the defender and fell forward for the yard.
Wow. Incredible. All right. Sunday night football. Dallas Cowboys at the Giants. Giants getting 3.5 over under 46. I don't know what to do with this game.
I'm actually going to play the Giants in the points.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to do with the game. I'm probably
Well,
going to take the under 46.
Once a team gets
I don't
over
know,
3,
Cowboys go over a lot, don't they?
once a team gets over 3 on the road, I when in doubt take the points, and I'm in doubt, so I'm taking the points.
What about the
Even as
over under?
even as much as I don't like the Giants and I think they're awful,
That's all you've been preaching all summer.
it is all I've been preaching all summer. I could even give them this game, and I still don't think they're, now they play Arizona next week, which I actually think is one of Arizona's only winnable games. The Giants fly across the country to play Arizona on Thursday night next week. So the Giants will play the late Sunday night game and then have to go fly cross country on a short week to have to play Arizona, which I think gives Arizona probably their best chance to win a game. But I'm going to take the 3.5 in this game.
Okay. Over under 46. I like the under. If I'm going to play anything, I'm not going to say I like the under. I'm going to play the under 46.
Yeah.
That's what I already did. I already used it in a couple plays. By the way, I have St. Brown as my captain in nightly fantasy on DraftKings, and that we needed that catch to
Yeah,
start
he
it
caught
off.
a 13-yard pass.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Not daily, but yearly.
There he is again. Is that him?
There he is
can't-
again.
There he is
I think
again.
there must have been a flag on that play.
Stop it.
A little flat. No, that wasn't.
Oh no,
that
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
St.
I'm
Brown.
sorry. Detroit is down to the 24.
That wasn't St. Brown, though.
That wasn't. I can't see that far.
It wasn't.
Okay. All right. Anyway, Monday night football. Now I got a question for you, Damien.
That
What?
was Reynolds.
Okay.
About that one.
So, why did they stop the 2 Monday night football games on week 1?
I think there's 2 next Monday night if I remember right. I believe
Okay.
this just because this is the 9/11 thing
Okay.
and the game's in New York. I think they just wanted this to be a standalone game.
That makes sense. Yeah, and it makes sense. It's in New York. I mean, obviously they did that on purpose. I'm sure.
Yeah, I said I believe that there's 2 games next week.
Yeah,
So
I can't
on
wait.
Monday night.
I can't wait for Monday night football. Jets plus 2.5 at home.
That line's been going up. Buffalo was 1.5 when I bet it. When I took the Jets at 1.5, now it's back to 2.5.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm
And
gonna
it's
do.
sneaking toward 3.
Over under 46. Once again, I think I'm gonna go under, but you're gonna have to. I don't know. I'm a believer in the Jets. They're the number 1 defense in the NFL. I think personally, and I'm not a professional handicapper, but I'm gonna take the Jets. You can give me a points. I might even move it to 3, and take the under and move the over under a little bit, and do a 2-teamer there. But I'm taking the Jets. I want to see, right? It's a we'll see.
I'll be on
Right.
the Jets. The Jets gave Buffalo absolute fits last year.
Yeah.
And that was with two different crappy quarterbacks.
Yes.
Now they actually have a real quarterback.
Yes.
And I'm not saying Rodgers is mobile. Buffalo doesn't really have that great a pass rush. That really shouldn't be as big of a factor in this game. St. Brown just caught a 5-yard pass for you there. That really
Nice.
shouldn't be a big factor in this game because Buffalo doesn't really have that great a pass rush. I believe the Jets are the right side of this game. Obviously,
Give me points at home with the Jets.
yeah.
Let me see what they do, right? First week. Let's see what they do. Guys, I know we want to get out of here and watch this game, at least get home by the second half. So you got anything else before we wrap up? I'm ready to get out of here. Well, you got anything, John?
By the way, Detroit is inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
about to punch it
They're
90 yards
driving.
down their throats.
With that fake punt.
So,
Dan Balls Coleman.
This is what they need to do. Big, long drives. Keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands.
that's exact. Remember, this is what I said. I thought they would
Yeah.
do is really ball control this game.
Uh-oh. I don't know what happened, but
The Lions coach Danny Balls.
we just heard a big whoosh
Yeah.
from the crowd. What happened?
He probably Lions probably dropped a pass or something. That's
No.
what I'm gonna say. Let's see here.
It looks,
Don't tell us, Damien. Dang
Oh, come on, John. You're
pressed the
killing me.
it.
You're killing me. He did something with the screen and it went blank as right as he hiked the ball. You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh,
Detroit's got a third and down at the 9.
Dropped the
third and
pass.
6 at the 9.
Dropped a
line.
as
touchdown?
predicted.
No, it says it was stopped for no gain on a running play.
Yeah.
I know, but the play before had to be.
The oohs and the ahs.
No,
Yeah,
it was,
what
false
it was
alarm.
a 4-yard. It was a
False
4-yard.
alarm?
Just a false alarm.
4-yard run was the play before.
False alarm.
I think Detroit just scored a touchdown. from
Touchdown.
What I'm hearing.
All right, we will end the show with Detroit up 6-0 at the moment.
Yeah, Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown for
Oh, St.
touchdown.
Brown touchdown, my
Yes.
captain in fantasy. What a way to start the game.
That works for me because I have St. Brown on
baby.
virtually every team.
All
I have in
right.
fantasy, so.
All right. Real quick, let's go over this real quick before we get out of here. Damien, what kind of ticket did you put together for me?
I have David Montgomery over his rushing yards, 59.5. Jahmyr Gibbs over his rushing yards at 39.5. Jahmyr Gibbs over his receiving yards, 29.5. Sam Laporta over his receiving yards at 14.5. And then for two Chiefs, I have Jerick McKinnon over 14.5 and MVS over 39.5.
Okay,
So,
guys, enjoy your Thursday night football. Enjoy all the football this weekend. We're going to get out of here. Clemson John, Damien B. Rowe, and David Sharp. Until